Good morning. It's December 6th. I think that's Pearl Harbor Day, if I'm not mistaken. Another up move through the ETH, electronic trading or extended trading hours, however you want to look at it. Been pretty much a great night if somebody was trading VPOC migrations or whatever else, so that's a good thing. We've got another view here. This is the microcomposite. The POC for microcomposite is 4574. We're going to open in 7 minutes. Hopefully this stream story is sorted out. The audio was terrible yesterday. I've left it because there was 2 trades. A execution error. I just instinctively hit short rather than hit into it long, which was my full intention. And as it turns out, I would have been up 2 trades, but as it is turned out, I had to make another trade and finish the day dead scratch even. So 4574. I want to confirm that I've got the overnight the MCV POC up here. No, 4574. I hadn't set that up yet. Uh, 4574 even. Okay, there we are. Now the we are looking to open higher out of range, determined by, this is the yesterday RTH. Here we are overnight and we're up here, so we're looking to open higher and out of range. That calls into play the higher out of range statistics. I forgot to set that up too. I'm going to do that right now. That's just real irritating. There we go. Now that won't be happening. So it should be the same. Yeah, the higher out of range statistics, which are these. A little movement up there on the ETH high. So 76% chance we're going to take out the ETH high, and that's pretty obvious. Here's where we're looking to open. These percentages are the percent of the stats out of 2,000 days where we had a open and higher out of range, and what percentage each one of these price levels was hit by price, touched by price. So we're looking to open higher. So far we're on basically 2 up days. Set up the trading stuff here. Multi-brackets, we got a 12 tick stop for both contracts, 24 tick and a 13 tick. 20 and profits 12 tick, which gives us risk neutral, and then target number 2 is 24 ticks out. So the risk neutral trade is simply 2 contracts or multiples thereof with an equal stop. The first target is equal to the stop, so that you are then risk neutral for the second contract, and the worst I can do is scratch. Huge improvement or huge relief to the psychological problem. And here we go. Boy, ETH keeps jumping higher. They just want to keep sneaking this up, so not sure what the hell that is, to be honest about it, but it's going to go away. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Did I get it? Yeah, there we go. So we've got a naked volume point of control up here at 61 from a couple of days ago. The overnight VPOC is down here. Probability of touching that is 79%. That's the usual main target, and you can see a humongous amount of volume, liquidity parked out down here, 500, 300, damn near 1,000 contracts. This is the full session volume point of control. This is the current session volume point of control, or volume profile, I'm sorry, not point of control. And this is the what you see on the screen. Boom. So we will see how we open here. There was a couple of numbers this morning, but nothing to follow. Would expect a FOMO by a lot of retail people that have woke up and went, oh, well, if I'd have just gone to bed and gone long and gone to bed, I'd be up 25 handles. So they want to jump in and get long, and then that's usually a case where everybody gets the rug pulled out from under them by high frequency, and down she goes. But we'll just have to see how we open. We're going to open in 1 minute. So we'll get set up here for both. The brackets are on. And here we go. Got my IRT candle switch, or my IoT chart switched over to regular trading hours. I hope we're on the right page over here. And the market's open. So far, everything looks okay. Get the suggestion story again, so I hope to hell not having the same problems as yesterday with the clipping and terrible audio. That's going to be so flippin' frustrating. I don't want to be a broadcaster. I want to just use this as my video. I find it the best form of a journal because I can hear what I'm thinking and when I review the trades in the stream. But battling with this audio has not been a pretty picture. Well, we didn't really have an opening swing. We were just basically down. Swing high is swing low, swing high coming up, it looks like. We haven't just shy of the overnight high. That's a huge statistic. I would suspect we were going to get up and test this level. We've got a big bunch of liquidity parked out here. It's been sitting in the book a long time, and then further up the chain, of course. More of that same. This is the mid, VWAP, and of course price. And the yellow is the current session. The bright yellow is current session VPOC. The darker yellow is the full session VPOC. Right now they're on top of each other. So here we go. Not really any responsive profit taking, which would be selling by the overnight folks, and I don't see the FOMO guys getting hammered here yet, so see what we do. This is a case where wait and see is the best option. And I'll be right back. And here we are. Well, there was a short opportunity, a test of the mid from below. Unfortunately, I was away from the desk, and now we're getting that sell-off that was expected down to this 90 liquidity. That's a beautiful short and a perfect setup. Come down, test the mid. Really no exhaustion necessarily there, but still a pretty good test and indication that we're going to go lower. I can't get above that mid up to the VPOC, so what one has to be extremely careful about is FOMO. And in my world, in my setups, in my journaling, I consider breakout trading as a FOMO, type of FOMO, so that's an error. Yesterday I had an error of execution when I just muscle memory hit into my brain, wanted a long, and I just hit into a short out of sheer habit. Here we had buyers scrapped out, sellers stepped in. Now, for me, hitting in here somewhere would be that's why I would consider this a FOMO breakout trade, and we might be looking at a mean reversion here. But I'm still a little hesitant. We're also looking to close the gap. So here's the previous RTH high. If we close that gap, that could be gap rules in action. Gap rules from the old market profile days. If they close the gap relatively soon in the regular trading hours, and if they can get acceptance in previous value, they will oftentimes trade across value to the value area low. So now we're in yes, we're at yesterday's. I'm sorry. We haven't quite closed the gap. There we are. This is a previous RTH high. And this mid moved out a little bit. There we go. And this is the EP, the overnight trading hours volume point of control, which is generally a stat that's taken frequently. The problem I have now is this looks breakoutish to me, trying to short, and that's very tight range. There's only 2 points to the obstacle. So no way to go. And here we have the VPOC migration lower for full session. Not the I wonder if I can change the name of that. I have to check that out. So this is the current session. VPOC remains up here. This is the full session. Now, chances are extremely good. We've only got 4,854 contracts here. We need another. There we go. Now they shift down. That was where I was getting to, where I was going with VPOC migration shift lower. And that could be a wonderful opportunity for a structured trade. The problem with that is, again, that's pretty close. There's just 3 points to the liquidity. I would be a little reticent to take that trade, thinking that we're going to get a little bit of a price check to see if these prices are still too high up here. But we'll see. And they're still fussing above the gap. Hopefully this is all working. I wish I could monitor the stream simultaneously with streaming, but I'm on a Logitech G Pro X headset, and my trading machines don't have speakers. So there we go. So far, trending down. We're looking at approaching the IB30 spot. Still well within range on the micro composite. This is the NASDAQ. And you see, here goes that price check that I was mentioning earlier. Everybody jumps on the VPOC migration. Oh, we're going down, we're going down. And oftentimes we'll get a price check. Tom T-Lab refers to them at price check at aisle 3. Now, whether it'll bounce off VWAP or mid and come back down is something. Or price check at aisle 3 would be to test clear back up here to see if this is, in fact, too high and then go lower. So, therefore, I am waiting for the next bus until I'm somewhat confident what I think the market context is. At this moment, it's a kind of crapshoot. Obviously, the VPOC moves a lot quicker and is much more sensitive on the market open because there's less data. When this is 10,000 contracts, it only takes, a short amount, a few to get up here, for example, to migrate up here, just as it did from up here to down here. But when we've got, 2 or 3 100,000, that's a different story. Boy, I'm hoping this is working. I'll be so pleased if I've got it sorted and I don't have to think about this anymore. I can just do what I wanted, what the intention is, which is to trade and record it, then be able to review my thinking via the voice and my actions via the video. So it's a perfect, in my opinion, it's a perfect, and it doesn't, journaling technique, and it doesn't detract from your focus because you are focused on watching and narrating what's going on with the market as opposed to typing or writing or whatever else. So, yeah, there we go. That's, hopefully this is working. I'll try to maybe figure out what to do in terms of a way to monitor the stream live. Video is great always. It's just the audio was terrible yesterday. It sounded to me, I guess it's called clipping, I think. I don't know. I'm not much of an audio recording guy. So that was a test, sort of VWAP. There is a structured trade, which is VWAP to VPOC, but again, if you're spot on great at your entries, it's 90, and you got less than you got a scale for the risk neutral. The first scale needs to be ahead of the VPOC, so that's only two handles. That's not enough meat on the bone to put the account money at risk, in my view. And of course, it's probably going to just bottom will fall out to EVPOC, which is an old-time favorite. And there's a huge amount of liquidity laying down here, so it's quite possible we're going to get into that. Now, this could be one that's hard for me to take. I spent a long time developing not diddling in the middle. In other words, the middle being the VPOC. That's where the most amount of trades have taken place. The most volume has transacted. There's an old adage, don't diddle in the middle, because your chances of being chopped up are extremely high. However, this could be seen very easily as a test of the POC from below and to take it further. That discretion being the better part of valor, I'm not going to do that. And we'll see how it shakes out. And we're only into the market, not even 30 minutes. Not a lot of responsive selling at this moment. Let's see, where are we here for? So we're at 97.87. We're at 10 handles. 30 minutes and 431,000 contracts. Volume is right there. Oh, sorry about that. ES, MES, and NQ. This is look at the difference in the micro ES and the regular ES as far as liquidity and volume. This damn thing is almost less and probably, I would suspect, as volatile, if not more, than the NQ. That's pretty. I didn't realize that volume was so light on the MES. Well, we're just kind of slopping around over the VPOC here. Oh, well, hello. Somebody's all excited to buy a bunch of stuff. This is the IB low. IB high would be at the top of the current volume profile, of course. The IB stat says that, and it's a very high number, 90-something%, that either the IB high or the IB low will be taken out in the regular trading hours. The IB high is the high of the first 1 hour, and the IB low is the low of the first 1 hour of regular trading hours. There's a new stat from the Trader Lab called the IB30, which says that the second 30 minutes, the previous high or low are taken out, or extended, I should say, because the IB is not set until the first hour. But in this case, you would suspect that the IB low, when this turns into rolls 9 o'clock, there's a high probability that price will extend this IB low lower. That's, the problem. I think a lot of traders, myself previously included, is you get ahead of it, you get anxious. Now there's 10 minutes to 9 o'clock, so IB30 isn't such a big isn't so relevant yet, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I get focused on watching this charting and looking at my back and forth between the book map and the IRT, and I forget to articulate what I'm thinking, which is the point. The point of the narration is to be able to replay the stream and listen to what or understand what I was thinking at the moment of a trade, and then try to improve on that. The dark blue is the NQ correlated market. So right now we're in a real consolidation at the bottom of the trade, bottom of our current. And look how light this is. It just flew through here and wasn't even remotely interested in thinking about this. That could well be repaired before too long. The market generally will go back and repair this kind of stuff. Also, we could be in a mean reversion, but it's only 90 to 88. That's only 2 handles, right? Not enough meat on the bone to get down there. That's another VWAP to VPOC trade. I want to see if I can name these, or at least identify the full session with an FPOC as it is here. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if you can rename those. They're just part and parcel of this profile, so I'm not sure if I can do that or not. Anyway, I hope so much that this audio is working. Standing here racking my brain exactly how I can monitor that without now during the moment rather than after the stream closes and listening to the stream or the recording. I'd like to be able to monitor the live stream in a way that I could tell if I was clipping and what was going on and make changes accordingly. That would be nice. I'd like to know what this damn thing says. Well, everything seems to be, I hope it's not clipping when I get up there. I think I've turned it down and got it set properly. We'll see. Let's hope. The Be Right Back music seems to be okay. Starting soon. I got to change those thumbnails. All right, so here we come back to the POC and would likely have a possibility to extend lower. The problem is we're not getting any help from the NQ. They're really leading the way here. It looks like the market's waiting for something, but there's no news coming out. I wonder if there's some speakers I missed on my setup. I don't think so. Supposedly, some bank CEOs are going to be testifying before Congress, like Jamie Dimon has anything to say that's not for the best interest of Jamie Dimon. But anyway, a lot of market and CNBC will be making a bunch of flap out of that, so perhaps that's part of it. It's now coming on 9 Central Standard Time. These times and this my location is Central Standard Time, so who knows? I suppose they would start testifying around 10, maybe. Try the Be Right Back again here. Okay. Ultimate hold. Or chop suey, chopped retail. They're making retail soup here. All these folks are just dying to get in there. My guess is their bank CEO testimony might be viewed as more relevant than I think it is. Perhaps its market's waiting for something to happen besides just 9 o'clock. But we will be then able to think about the IB30. Logic would suggest it's going to be the IB low that would be extended, and I guess the target would be previous high, RTH high, which would close the gap, and or maybe further through this liquidity. But that's a hell of a lot of contracts to grind through to get down here to the EVPOC, unless they start lifting off when price approaches, which often happens. I'm about half tempted. The only problem I have is, again, the diddle in the middle part. Let's see what happens at 9. This would have could be and very definitely would be considered a test of the of the VWAP from below and exhaustion. There's 80 contracts out here and 38 when they came back up to test. So there was no more buying from this point on. So that could be considered then exhaustion from the VWAP to VPOC, but it's only 2 points. Is that enough range? Assuming you're damn good, and I would not be, I'd be in here somewhere. So that's 1.5 points. To me, that's not enough meat on the bone to put on the risk, because you're not going to get scaled where you should be, which you should definitely scale ahead of the POC, because that's a major obstacle. So you'd have to be scaling down here someplace, and I would, that's just backwards as far as I'm concerned. The mid POC would be much more, proper range, risk reward, however you want to look at it. The problem is the mid is once it gets up there into this light volume, chances are extremely good it'll fly through there up to the next distribution, which is up here. Not much of one, but it's a pretty good sell-off from the start. But yeah, there comes 9. It's going to make a move one of these minutes, but what is that move going to be? That's the question. Here we are. This is a little easier to see the Renko. Just dilly-dallying above the high, which is the gap close. This is where we've been thrashing back and forth with this forming the zipper up and the VPOC migration down. So there's a test of the VPOC from below. One contract, and now we're getting some selling. So it looks like they've decided they're going to go down there and look at that. There's the previous high, so the gap's closed. Next stop would be POC. However, again, VPOC to previous high, 3 points. You got to be spot on that trade in order to get it. My execution isn't that good. It's only 2 handles, 88 to 86, if you see my point. 88 to 86 is 2 points, and now we're just dillying around, so we would not be scaled. And then you start thinking about things like moving your first scale up to pick up this thing, which means you've got to bring your stops up to maintain the same ratio for a risk reward scenario. This is trading, the magic and joy of trading. But we are now in the IB30 and we have fulfilled that stat. Can they grind through all this liquidity? Almost 1,000 contracts. Well, they're getting through it pretty quick, and some of the boys are lifting off. There we go. And there we have it. So that was the trade. I mean, was a reasonable trade, but there wasn't enough range for me to fit my plan. Now, are they going to do? So they come up and test this little microstructure. It's looking pretty goofy there, isn't it? And exactly zero zero volume in there. That's pretty funny. Yeah, at 66 to 64 again with all of that noise. IB low. You would imagine, I would imagine that the IB low would be the extended one today based on the fact that the context is, I think, obviously down. There's the open, and we've been straight down ever since with this little hoopla going on right here. What's been kind of and like yesterday, here was up, right? This was the first trades. Context, so, oh boy, we're going to the moon, Alice. But then it just turns around and it finishes out the day slopping back and forth with consolidation. That seems to be the pattern lately. And we're testing that top again, top of the microstructure. What do we got to look at here? Well, it's forever before the VPOC is going to migrate down. VPOC here is at about 21,000, and there's nothing down here above 5. So for this to migrate lower, we've got to get more than 21,000 contracts traded out down here. Kind of funny that they made it through all this liquidity and there's only about 7, say 9,000 contracts traded in those 4 levels. At the moment, it would only be shorts. I'd be looking for shorts. I am looking for shorts with entries on counter rotation up, as opposed to longs, which would be counter trend trades at the moment. Now the tanker could turn as I was just talking about. The pattern the last few days has been kind of a directional move early on, and then rotational. The fact that the mid, VWAP, and POC are pinching together is not particularly good news, because those are structured trades that generally have a good win rate or a good statistical edge. Of course, they have nothing now because there's not enough range to enter. No meat on the bone. I'm going to try to figure out how I can continue to watch this and monitor that the stream is sounding reasonably okay. I'm thinking of using another computer that I've got here, a laptop, which has got its own, obviously, speakers. So, here we go. This could well be a, now if we get up here to mid, but you see mid to POC is only 2 points or 1.5, so where's that? And we've got all this vacuum above us. Yeah, it's hard for me to trade. This would be the counter rotation entry mid. If there was just more room between the VPOC and this mid VWAP, that would be a trade I would look seriously at taking. The big pause for me is this basically lack of volume that's traded up here. I'm going to try to go on the be right back audio pause and see if I can get the live stream working on another machine so that I can monitor if the audio is okay. So we'll get the be right back going here. Okay, let's see if I could get this monitor figured out here and understand if I'm clipping or what I'm doing. I think it sounds pretty good so far, so that's really encouraging. So here's a VPOC test, you see. Trading higher. Kind of hard for me to get used to understanding this. Hearing the delay in the background, there is a built-in delay with YouTube, so I don't know how many seconds it is, but I could time it and figure it out, or it's probably in the setup somewhere. At the moment, I have not made any trades. I'm going to try the mic in different positions and see what that does. I've just widened it out to a basically straight boom. We'll see if that sounds any better or worse. Well, it doesn't seem to have some of the distortion, but volume is extremely quiet, so I would have to jack that up, pull up the gain. Now the question is, do I do that with OBS or do I do that on my Blue Voice software? Let me see what I see. Master output. Let's see if I've now got it better. I don't really hear any difference, so that might not be. I'm going to bring that back from 70 to 50, where it was, or say 60, and bring up the input gain to 70. This is on the Pro X. One, two, three, four, five, six. I don't think that's working very well. Where the hell? So perhaps the mic gain. See if this matters. I cranked up the gain on the OBS, or mic volume on the OBS. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll test this for a little bit here. I know which changes I've made. I'm going to get back to focusing on the markets. Quite obviously, what's happened is a little blurb up to the top of the value area. And now we're back to value area low. Yeah, what we have, what it would have been a good trade had I not been fussing with this audio, is we tested and exhausted at this liquidity, which just happens to be value area high, and then down to mid and down to VPOC and across to the lower. And the value area, the IB stat is on the table with the potential for the IB low to be taken out. We're at 924. The stat sets at 930. And there we go. Second IB 30, some absorption. Down we go. Yeah, so this is not sounding too bad. I'm fairly pleased with that. I'm going to be dropping off the stream or closing the stream down at about just before the top of the hour. Got a couple of meetings here. I'm not sure what to think about this price action, but it's bordering on the FOMO range. Yeah, that was an excellent test of the liquidity at the value area high. Mean reversion essentially from here. Well, mean reversion would have been to here and then, south. And it's definitely. So disappointingly, I'm not in that trading mode, but I feel comfortable now that this audio is definitely good enough on the stream to not worry about it and focus on the business at hand, which is the trading and the video journal. Just out of curiosity, now that I'm monitoring this real time, I'm going to see how the background music sounds in the starting soon. Be right back. Walking bass is fine volume. I don't think there's any problem talking over that. And starting soon. Starting soon. Starting soon. Talking over starting soon. So that sounds reasonable, and I believe talking voiceover is fine. Okay, so those two tests seem to be all right. Just can't get into the mode of the market here today with all this nonsense. I guess I'm OCD about certain things. All right. Well, we're stepping up. This is not really an area at all, other than might be considered as a mean reversion top to bottom. Only 3-4 points, so it's close meet range. One thing to notice is that this is value area high, and we just tested into it, and we're not accepted into it. We're definitely rejected out of it so far. The gap rules say that if you test into previous value area high and you're accepted there, then you'll often trade across it. In this case, it may revert back up. Monitoring this stream with my phone, which just occurred to me I could do some time ago, is great. I could just have a headset in one ear and my Logitech headset over the top. Works fine. I hear some background noise, however, that I'm going to have to get the noise suppression filter for room noise taken out. I got to increase that filter. I don't know whether that would be on the OBS or the Blue Voice, but I'm not going to worry about it now. So we tested value area low, and well, we tested the value area high from previous value area, and we have now tested the developing value area low. We're still in a context of down market, down context, lower lows, lower highs. And so I think lower ground is where we're looking. Well, it would be nice to get a trade in the bag, but I am certainly not going to jump on something when I'm not focused and ready. We're at an area now where lower could very well be the case. But I don't have any structured trade for that I can dream up off the top of my head. We're below any kind of level. We just happen to be bouncing around developing value area low. Lower lows, lower highs. Context is still down. However, we were pretty severely rejected out of yesterday's value with the test right here. That is not the best for down. So this could have been signaling a reversal. But picking bottoms is not a good habit. At this moment, this short would still be a trade within context. And we have not taken out, or have we? No, we haven't taken the IB stat, which my suspicion would be that we would take the low, but more than once I've seen them come across and take the top, so, or the high. The IB stat set at the IB stat set here at 930. It was made down here pre-market. Pre-market, previous to 930. This is 930 when the stat is fixed. Now the IB stat itself would be to come down and extend that. We've got some liquidity there and several tests at the VPOC. Will we trade around it? Will we break down through it under that developing value area low? That's the question. And I don't want to take a trade at the moment. I don't feel like putting risk on for that value area stat, because the stat is that the IB stat says that sometime within the regular trading hours, the stat will be met. Now, we could well be on the move to satisfy that. And that would have been just almost a scale. But the point is, it could be at, 3 o'clock this afternoon, 1500, you know. So it doesn't have to be anytime soon. And sometimes they're never taken out. Lately, we've had several neutral and extreme neutral days where both have been taken out. So pretty random trading. And right now, had I shorted, I'd be pretty regretful of that. That liquidity lifted off, so we're looking for higher ground. And we have the mid VWAP and VPOC all above us. Yeah. Chopperama. Okay. It's still bouncing around this developing value area low and the IB low here. That's a long ways away from that IB high, but I've definitely seen it happen before. The thing that's most worth noting is that we were so far firmly rejected out of value from yesterday. Just a brief test in and out you go. That's generally, in gap rules, that's generally a indication that we will trade back across this developing value, the value area, which would, and up towards the highs. So we'll see what we will see. I'm wondering when they're going to decide what they're going to do around this value area low here. The trade, of course, was the value area high rejection long right here. Well, the trade was short, short the developing value area high down to here. But, you know, hindsight, the magic of hindsight. I'd like to take this long, but I don't like the way they're fluffing around here, and I'm not sure whether these Fed speaker or whatever they're called, banker guys, are going to have that much impact. So we'll just see what we see. Hopefully I haven't knocked the mic out, and I got to figure out how to have that mic so I can never always be able to reposition it properly for the stream. That's something pretty important, I guess. Think about it. And with this flexible boom mic, I can, just accidentally hit it, setting the headset down or something, and change the parameters, which seemed pretty drastic when I just moved the mic position, all other settings remaining constant some time ago here. Well, we're just having a love affair with the developing value area low after rejection from the previous value area high. One would think if they could gain some traction here, there's no liquidity above, perhaps, that we could get to VWAP mid and POC. That would be a structured trade, basically. But they seem pretty anxious to sucker in some guys, and I'm not sure I want to be one of those suckers. The context of the market is still down, obviously. So taking a long is counter trend, essentially. This long, thin, nothing kind of profile is hard for me to trade. There's no real, we're in a low volume node, then in a second we're in a high, then it's pretty goofy. Pretty goofy. Seems like they're not able to get much traction above the developing value area high or the EVPOC. Kind of testing that a bunch of different times there, but not breaking lower. Now is when the FOMO of breakout starts to itch right here, which is really the spot you would be thinking about mean reversion, except it's only 3 points across the whole mean, the mean is here or here, arguably, depending on which is which. This is 83 and this is 84, so up here. And so outside in, you got nowhere to go. No, I just hit the mic. I hope I didn't destroy the quality by moving that. I think I got it where I need it. Yeah, bummer. I will probably need to drop the stream without a trade today to get into this meeting. I may pick the stream back up and see how it goes with the second half after the meeting. Hopefully it'll be a short one. Well, maybe they're going to finally retest the value area high. The value area, developing value area low seems to be slipping a bit. I'm going to start getting the other computer ready for the meeting. See what I see here. What is this? Da-doom, ba-doom. Wow, I got lots of stuff open here. Whoa. And there we continue to slip towards the value area high. And I can't seem to get this damn thing. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, in effect, then we still are basically stair-stepping down. Lower highs, lower lows. We did test this very valid test of the previous value area high, which is something everybody watches. But we'll see where this goes. If this continues to break off again, we'll get in here. Again, if it's accepted down in value, very high probability it'll trade across value. So if it tries again and gets rejected again, then could very well trade across and up to the top. But I'm running out of time here for that trade and the stream. So I'll be closing the stream off in about 5. And hopefully I haven't bumped the mic around enough to mess with the audio settings that were sounding pretty right to me. Well, that's a relief. Okay, that all looks pretty okay on the other side. So we'll watch this market here a little bit for the next couple, 3 minutes and then wind the stream down. Hopefully the audio straightened out. Unfortunately, no trade yet today. This test of the value area, developing value area here was quite a tell. One more test and down they go. Now we'll see if they can break it down into the value area low. Or they're going to test it again. Who the hell knows? Picking off some stops up there above this consolidation area and the developing value area low. Been trading up here a long time and unable to make higher ground after the test of the value area. Value area high is from the previous day. Developing value high or low are this current session. Yeah, they're slamming it back and forth. I bet you there's more people offsides than you can shake 6 sticks at. These zippers, as FT71 calls them, or Murad Askar, they do look like a zipper. That's just, retail soup, consolidation area, and they're still struggling around this developing value area low. And here was the previous value area high where they tested and were rejected. So, but look at the difference. You're only talking about a handful of points from here to here. So, I will be dropping off the stream now to prepare for this presentation I have. And then we'll see. Maybe I'll pick the stream back up. But in any case, trade safe. I hope all the audio and everything is working now, and that would be just mega wonderful. 6 December 23. Sign off.